Hey you guys, this is OffTopicGames with another deck profile for you guys. This one is requested, so this one is on our Jewel Knight deck profile. We haven't really played this deck much. In our views, it's not very competitive. It's kind of the deck struggles. You'll probably see why, I guess. It may not be just our build, but the general matchups nowadays, and it probably just can't keep up with tempo. But this deck is pretty rushy, and you may see why. I'm not too sure, but yeah. So for our starter, we run Jewel Knight Tiffany. It's our starter. You can put it into your soul. Give two Jewel Knight units plus 3k to the end of the turn. It makes good numbers, and it's really there for just making good numbers and swinging at the Vanguard for pressure and pushing out the damage. For our grade 3s, we only run 4, surprisingly. This is the Ashley Reverse. One of them is SP, if you can tell. It's kind of hard to see, actually. But what it does, it's Limit Break 4. You can Counterblast 1, choose one of your Jewel Knight rearguards and lock it. And then choose up to one of your opponent's rearguards in the front row, retire it, and then call one Jewel Knight to the rearguard circle and then shuffle your deck. And then this effect cannot be used until the rest of the turn, so it can't be abused over and over again. And then it also has the cross-ride status for the break red Ashley, but we're not running that, and the Lord ability. So yeah, we're only running 4 grade 3s because all the other grade 3s in our mind aren't that good. You could run the break ride Ashley, you can run Salome, you can run the Legion with Sword Me, but Ashley Reverse is obviously the best, and the other ones don't do too much for us, so we run more grade 2s and grade 1s. For our grade 2s, we run 4 Sword Me, because Sword Me is, or was, broken. It got restricted, so it can only be used with only grade 3s that have Jewel Knight in its card name, so you can't use like Ultima with this card. What it does is Counterblast 1, Jewel Knight card. When you call this card, you can search your deck for up to one card with Jewel Knight, grade 1 or less, and call it. And then shuffle your deck. It's really good. It's a basic toolbox for all your grade 1s almost. Next we have 3 Tracy. It's a 12k attacker, but the requirement isn't normal. It's if the other number of other rearguards with Jewel Knight in its card name is 3 or more, it gets plus 3k, so it's 12k. It's a bit harder than your average 12k, but you're running Jewel Knight, so it's not that bad. We run 3 Heat Elemental Bois. It's a Cray Elemental card. On hit, you can retire this unit, search for a Limit Break card. So in other words, search for your Ashley Reverse. So it kind of helps if you're grade locked. And then also it can help you search for like Stride Fodders. So yeah. Or not Stride Fodders specifically, but grade 3s to Stride 4. Nextly, we have 2 grade 2s. Our last grade 2s. This one is this guy. What it does is on hit, Soul Blast 1. If you have 3 or more rearguards with Jewel Knight in its card name, you can search your deck for up to one grade 1 or less card with Jewel Knight in its card name, and then call it to rearguard circle and then shuffle. So it's really good because on hit pressure, and you get +1 for the Soul Blast 1 if you hit. Next is for Cymbeline. This is a very good card. When this unit is placed on your rearguard circle, if the number of other rearguards you have with Jewel Knight is 3 or more, you can rest this card, and then choose one of your other Jewel Knight cards and it gets plus 10k. So if you use this with Sword Me and you meet the condition, you can just rest it and give Sword Me, for example, plus 10k. And then you can, your Sword Me hits 19 against like 9k Vanguards, which is pretty good. Next we run 4 Limit Break Enablers. This is Jewel Knight specifically, so it's nice, and then it helps us with the Ashley Reverse. You can lock the Ashley Reverse, lock this card with Ashley Reverse and still get the continual effect off. So you can still like retire and then search. Next we run 2 Christine. This one isn't used very much, but we have 2 of it. What it does is Counterblast 1, choose a grade 3 card in your hand and reveal it when the scene is placed in the rearguard circle. If you have 3 or more rear guards with Jewel Knight in his card name, 3 other specifically, I believe, yeah, then you can pay the cost, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 with Jewel Knight in his card name, call it, and then add it to your hand, and then discard a card at the end of the turn. So really good because it again helps you search for grade 3s if you need them. You get another attack off, and then you have to discard, but it's break even essentially. Next we run 3 stride fodders because striding is a bit harder in our deck because we only run 4 grade 3s. But we need it. If you want, you can cut out like something else to run a 4th one because striding is very important to the deck, but that's up to you. Lastly, we run 4 PGs, specifically the Holy Knight Guardian because we like unflipping. But if you want, you can run the Jewel Knight one because it's Jewel Knight, so it may help and may not screw you over, but that's up to you. We run 8 crits, but 4 of them specifically is the one with the effect. What it does is, at the end of the turn, if you have Vanguard with Jewel Knight in its card name, and you have 3 or more other Jewel Knights on the rear guards circles, you can draw a card and then put this unit back to the top of your deck and then shuffle. So it's very good for just calling, and then you draw a card so you don't lose anything, and then you have less commitment to the board for your opponent to blow up next turn or something. So it's a very nice card to just have and play, and yeah. So 8 other vanilla crits, but they're Jewel Knight specific, which is very important. 4 Jewel Knight heals, because healing is good for G-Guards. Oh. Where'd the other heal go? Oh, here. 4 other Jewel Knight heals, because healing is important and G-Guards are a thing now, so we run that for sure. And then 4 Margles, up to you if you want to run the Jewel Knight ones. We like the Margle one because of the power and the skill. But yeah, Margles, draw triggers are good for this deck because you need to draw and stuff. It's still like an aggressive deck, you want to rush, but you still need draw triggers, in our opinions, and I really like draw triggers, personally. For strides, we run 4 Evangeline. It's kind of like a Regalier for this deck, but it's Jewel Knight specific, so basically you can flip anything. On stride, it's an act, so you flip anything, and then if you have a Jewel Knight heart, you get the effect where for each of this card face up, all your Jewel Knights get plus 3,000 for each of this card face up. So if you have a full field of Jewel Knights, you can get like plus 6,000 for each row. If this is your first stride and you just flip her, and then next stride, if you don't want to flip her and just want to flip a random, so you have 2 face up, it gets plus 6,000 to each card, so 12,000 to the row, and then so on and so forth. So it's pretty good because the power is pretty immense when you get it off. But that does require you to survive quite long. Next, we run 4 Alt Miles. It's a pretty good card. You can use this more when you're against like controlling matchups and you just don't have the hand and you need to get cards. But what it does is on play you can flip this specific card face up. This card gets the continuous. Your front row gets plus 3,000, and then if you have if the number of face-up cards in your G zone is 2 or more, so basically if it's your second stride or your G guard turn before, you can call a grade 2 card to the rear guard, and then it gets plus 5,000 to the end turn. So in other words, you can call Sword Me. Sword Me becomes a 14 plus the 3 for the continuous front row, so 17 by itself, and you can call grade 1 for Counterblast 1. So very good plays with Alt Mile, and yeah, Alt Mile is just a strong card. Next we run Fides. It's the new card from GBTO 8. What it does is you can choose any card from your G zone face down, so that includes your Evangelines. Then search your deck for up to 1, or discard a card. Then search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 card, call to rear guard, shuffle your deck, and then if that unit has the Brave ability, you draw a card until the end of the turn. Until the end of the turn, this unit gets, the GB3 gets an effect, but that we don't really care about the effect because we don't have any Brave units in our deck. It's mainly for the discard, flip anything, and then call a grade 2. So you can really just call mainly Sword Me with this deck. Obviously Sword Me is very important in the deck. So use this discard, call like Sword Me, for example, flip Evangeline, and go to work. Next we run Two Clotinus. Interesting card. We don't run Saint Blow. Instead we run this card. What it does is Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your cards in your G zone, turn it face up so you can flip anything. Search your deck for up to the same number of grade 2 cards as the number of face up cards in your G zone named this, so this card. And then it gets the skill GB3. It gets plus 10k in a crit. So it's pretty good because it gets plus 10k in a crit, and you can call up to one thing. So if you need the pressure, you can use this card. Next we run one Sabreeze because Sabreeze is nice. You don't necessarily have to because the deck isn't really GB like whatsoever, but Sabreeze is nice to punish your opponent a bit more if you don't have much to work with. Next for our G guards we run one of this new thing. We don't really like it, but we can because normally our field is grade 2s unless we're playing against control matchup. But it gets plus 10k shield if you have 2 grade 2 rear guards or more. It gets plus 10k shield. It's a continuous too, so if you intercept, you lose the 10k, which is kind of dumb. But you know, Bushiroad, right? Next we run one Holy Dragon Laser Guard Dragon. It's basically a smaller version of this. If you have 1 or more grade 2s, it gets plus 5k. So 20k generic. And then Dismal. Basically, on G Guard, give your rear guard the effect where it can be hit or targeted with the effects of your opponent. So it's very good because you do rely on your rear guards. And that's basically it for this deck profile. We do believe, again, that this deck is kind of hard competing, so we may not necessarily recommend it, but it's a very fun deck, and I hope you guys liked it. Hopefully, sooner or later, you can see a matchup or two with this. We'll see on that, but yeah. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or any matchup requests or deck profile requests, please leave them down in the comment section down below. If you liked this video, you can like it and subscribe to our channel. Our subscriber count is, if not already, almost at 1,000, so expect to see a giveaway coming up soon. And yeah, as always, social media, Facebook and Twitter, links are in the description below, and I'll see you all later.